we've been hugely fortunate with the growth of businesses coming in, and then the population growth following that. So what we decided to focus on as an initiative is Texas Triangle, which is Houston metro area, DFW metro area, and what we're calling Central Texas, which is Austin, San Antonio corridor, in and through that area.
Welcome to SSR On Air. I'm Mike Rogers, your host for this monthly podcast brought to you by Smith Seckman Reed. Tune in as I interview leaders, colleagues, and clients about what is going on internally at SSR and in the larger engineering community. So today I'd like to welcome Kevin to SSR On Air. Appreciate you coming in and
glad to be here,
visiting with us today, and
absolutely
all the way from Houston, Texas. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what you're doing in Texas, but kind of wanted to start first with a little bit of your story, where you came from, how you got to SSR, just your history, your version of your history, and just share with everybody kind of what your story is.
Well, it's fairly non-eventful, to be honest with you. Born and raised in East Texas, so 2 hours east of Houston. So in '83, I moved to Houston after college and started with SSR in '84. Okay. So for the last 38 years, that's where I've been at SSR.
38 years.
Yep. Started there and had a small group, about nine people at the time. Was doing plumbing design.
So 38 years ago, Clay and
Clay, John Ross,
and John, they were all there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So they were all there. Then Rob, after 2 years in '86, came back to Nashville and became CEO. Mm-hmm. And as we know, he's been was CEO up till a few years ago. And Clay stuck around for about 12 years to run the Houston office, and then moved back to Nashville. Yeah. And John Ross moved back sooner than that. So, but yeah, and so SSR's been my home for my entire professional career, and it's been a great ride. I've had plenty of opportunity to be able to grow at the pace that I kind of wanted to grow, and that's been the neat part about SSR. I think is that the opportunity's there. It's just up to you to take advantage of it and lean into it. So.
Yeah, so you started out doing plumbing design. Right?
Yeah, plumbing drafting technically.
Yeah.
And then moved into design, and then slowly but surely over time started doing project management, and then worked my way up through the project management ranks, and then became what we called team leader at the time. So I had like a little business unit running that, and then later on became operations lead for the Houston office, and then in the meantime had started the Dallas office and was going back and forth between Houston and Dallas, and then today at this point I'm no longer in operations, which is kind of been an interesting change for me. I've always in operations from the beginning, and about 3 years ago it was kind of like, we need to kind of look at where we're heading, and with growth being a big initiative within the firm, how do we accelerate that growth? And so that's when I decided, with some pushing, to hand over the operations to Jan Perucki, who's doing a fantastic job. Mm-hmm. And I moved out into business development and outward facing. So for the last 3 years, that's been my focus as technically a regional business development leader, primarily focused on Texas as a whole. Mm-hmm. And things are going quite well.
Yeah, so no doubt about that. Yeah. So we'll get back to that. The quite well Texas scenario. So back you up a little bit to the times as you're coming up through the ranks, and you mentioned the business unit, because we've talked about on the podcast before. We talked about the fact that we used to have 35 little business units that all operated independently, and that's been gone now for. Was it 8 years, maybe 10 years?
It's been 10 years.
10 years?
About 2012 is when we changed the structure.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
And so at that point, Where at that point, 10 years ago, what role were you playing in Texas?
Well, at that time, that's when we had a little bit of management change in Houston office in particular,
right.
And so I basically took over the Southwest Division at that time, which is the Texas market, and so I was over Houston specifically, and then in general over Dallas as well as a senior leader within the group. So, but I mean, at that time we had about 45 in Houston, and they were all somehow directly reporting to me, and it was an interesting structure at that time. So I'm glad we've evolved from there.
Yeah.
So
it's tough to manage 45.
Yeah.
And do justice to it all. So So as you transitioned out of that and moved, I mean, you did operations for quite a while. A little bit after that, quite a while before you moved into BD.
Yeah.
So, just thinking clients, as you transitioned out and moved into more of a BD outwardly facing role, how significant were the clients that you already had? How did you start to work on new clients? What kind of was your situation then?
The real impetus behind me moving into that outward facing role more is I'm the old guy. I've kind of been around for forever, and I've got most of the relationships relative to our clients in Houston and Dallas, for that matter, at the time, and around Texas in general. So for me, it was just, it was a natural thing to be able to focus more on existing client maintenance, as well as strategic planning for growth. So out of that, and over the last 3 years, we've really grown quite a bit in Dallas, from the standpoint of not just me, but others up there stepping up and playing a big role in that. But we've also now moved into Austin, Central Texas, and without me being able to, I think, have the time to be out there mining new opportunities, we probably wouldn't be able to move as quick as we can. And so because of different people stepping up within the firm and taking over operations leads, and then also some more BD leads in Dallas and Darren Harvey, we're able to accelerate growth, and relationships have been maintained, but also growing new ones, because I'm able to focus on that pretty much 100% of the time.
Yeah, so and we've talked about this a few times, you and I, about the significance of those core clients that are in Texas. And I think it's okay to talk about them. The Cooks and the Methodists and some of these guys. How long have we been working for them, and what do they make up in our market there? Just kind of put a box around that a little bit.
Yeah. So in the Texas market in general, we're probably 95% healthcare focused, and so going back to when we started Houston, having the world's largest medical center in your backyard helps, being in the healthcare industry. So the institutions like Memorial Hermann, Methodist, Texas Children's, Harris Health, St. Luke's, CHI St. Luke's, Common Spirit, those relationships have been anywhere from the entire 30 plus years to 20 years in the making, and it just takes, you got to be there to serve those clients, and we're fortunate to be there, and so they're long term. And then up in Dallas, you mentioned Cook Children's, we've been there 25 plus years, and it's just, then our architectural clients as well, they are numerous, and just as the breadth and width of the relationship has been there for 25, 30 years. And it's a tribute to our people. We got to provide quality service, number one, and without having good people to be able to do that, they're everything. So it's just been a good ride. We've been fortunate and blessed, but
well, I think what you touched on there about us doing good work over decades, really. And continually being there for the client, I think it's made the difference. And being as significant as we are in that market, you can't do that without doing good work. Doesn't mean you're perfect,
Right.
Doesn't mean you don't make mistakes.
Right.
But you're also there to clean them up and take care of the client if something does go wrong. So.
Yeah, and that's key. I mean, when we don't run away from any issue, so we're always there, and we take care of we make mistakes, and we take care of the mistakes. And when you go through natural disasters like Tropical Storm Allison in 2001 that basically flooded it flooded the entire medical center, and when you have an entire hospital to where you got to evacuate patients in the middle of the night downstairs and everything, we were there as a team in multiple institutions helping them out. And those type situations, how you react and how you get in there and interact with your clients, it's more than just because they're our client. It's because you've gotten to know them well past doing the work. It's because you care about the patients, and you care about taking care of them more than anything. So
no, that's significant. I think that's true when you start to get that bond that's outside of it, and that's what we talk about. These are people that you're going to work with for a long time, and they become your friends, and that's the way it should be. So that's a good story. I remember that flood. I remember that a lot of the facilities had most of their primary equipment in the lower levels, even back then.
Yeah, sure.
Electrical equipment, and everything. And,
sure.
Yeah.
Central plants. I mean, it's as when you're years ago when you're designing a building, the non-revenue generating spaces let's put them down in the basement, let's get them out of sight, and have that room available for the revenue generating spaces, easy access up above. After that occurrence with Tropical Storm Allison, all that changed, and we spent a lot of years moving equipment up above floodplain, and a lot of work came out of that. So now when we're designing new facilities, it's okay, what's the floodplain? How high do we need to get generators, et cetera, et cetera. So
it's like the 500-year flood here in Nashville changed a lot of design too.
Exactly.
You don't think about it, but it happens. That's why that's why they draw the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about just Texas in general, and what we have going on there, and kind of the energy behind it. I mean, we recently had a plan put together, really an initiative. One of our initiatives was to focus on the Texas Triangle. So define that for us a little bit and talk about what you think is going on and where we're heading with that.
Yeah, so the old saying, everything's bigger in Texas, it's boastful, but at the same time, when you look at the economy today and what's going on in Texas, it's really true. I mean, we've been hugely fortunate with the growth of businesses coming in, and then the population growth following that. So what we decided to focus on as an initiative is Texas Triangle, which is Houston metro area, DFW metro area, and what we're calling Central Texas, which is Austin, San Antonio corridor, in and through that area. So, as the population grows, you need the three things to support that: the infrastructure, the education, and the healthcare. Yep. So we feel well positioned with the healthcare, obviously, and we're seeing tremendous growth relative to that. So, like in Austin, when you got like Tesla moving in, and some of these big high tech firms from California, and Samsung, building these big mega plants and stuff, you're going to have population growth with it. So we're excited about where all that is heading, and it doesn't seem like inflation or any of the trials and tribulations we're going through as a nation are affecting Texas as much relative to growth, because it's still a lot going on.
Well, I think the demographics are showing that people are leaving states and heading to Texas and the southeast anyway.
In
so I think Texas
from the west to the west coast too, with the high tech firms. It's a lot of migration.
I mean, you mentioned Tesla. I mean, that's the whole reason they moved down to Austin, was to get out of that tax situation.
I mean, it's a business friendly state.
And
it's geared around the growing business and development. So it's a good place to be.
Yeah, and we're seeing that here in Tennessee too. It's very similar. A lot of the firms, Oracle and Amazon and other places, other people moving here. So it's the same. It's the same story. So what? Talk about services a little bit. What are we doing? I mean, we talk about SSR 1.
Yeah.
What does that mean in Texas?
So in Texas, obviously we grew up from being known as MEP, Mechanical Electrical Plumbing Engineering Consulting Firm, and we hung our hat on that over the years. But our technology, our low voltage technology group, which has been established for quite a while now, is seeing tremendous growth in Texas. Our medical equipment planning group, we've been doing it 3-4 years now. We acquired a firm out of Atlanta. We've got 10 people in Houston and several in Dallas. That is seeing exponential growth, and we've got more opportunities on the way with that. All of our commissioning services, whether it be new building, building optimization, continuous commissioning, retro commissioning, building envelope, is just we are making progress in the industry, and the growth is I would say it's on a ramp that's pretty steep right now. We're pretty excited about it. So that in and of itself is exciting to see, because it's and then our high performance design group, sustainability group with Eric Sheffer leading that. You're adding all that up together to where we're a one-stop shop, and but we still have opportunities to provide any service at any time.
Yeah. But
it's providing solutions and problem solving to our clients in a holistic way. That's really exciting.
Do you see the clients leaning more into having a one-stop shop like that?
Yes and no. I mean, it's the technology and the medical equipment really go hand in hand these days. It's just so intertwined. And then when you add the MEP to it, because it all has to connect and work, those three really have a lot of synergy. And I think more and more we're seeing clients ask for all services on those three in particular. On the commissioning side, it's usually a separate request, because it's not part of that design. So if we're doing the design aspect, they typically want another set of eyes, third party, looking at the commissioning side of things. But it's I mean, many of our clients are saying, give me proposals for all three services, and so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And so it makes it a little easier for us with the deep client base that we have to bring them up alongside and say, hey.
Well, it certainly helps.
There's some other things that we can help out with, because I think most of our clients are looking for, like you said, a solution. And they may not know what all their problems are yet either, and sometimes we have to help them define those problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
that's good.
We just need to bring value. So
I like that. I like that. So what do you see down the road for Texas? What, just kind of put your prognostication hat on, and
crystal ball being what it is, I would say our DFW reach and growth will continue to expand up there. We just opened up Fort Worth office. That in and of itself gives us some more opportunities, not only from a client standpoint, it's in Tarrant County, but also from a recruiting standpoint with resources. So it's a win-win there. But DFW in general, there's market share to be gained that I see us being able to capture over the next 5 years in particular. Houston, I think we will continue to maintain and grow services outside of MEP more than the MEP. And then the real exciting part for me is the Central Texas. Having the Austin office open now, looking to have a presence in San Antonio soon hereafter. That market is fresh for us. We've got quite a bit of work there right now, but it's through relationships we've had in Houston or Dallas.
Right.
So we're looking to grow new relationships with new clients with the presence there. So that, to me, that's where the exponential growth is going to be, and that will carry us down into the valley. Down to South Texas, I think, as a corridor. So there's just plenty of opportunity from the growth standpoint to be able to allow us to grow all our services throughout the state. But those particular areas is really where the focus is.
Yeah. So I know primarily it's healthcare for you, but you're also touching other things in the Texas market. What do you see future-wise for any of our other services? I mean, it may be down the road a ways, but what do the opportunities look like for you there?
Any other markets, you mean? Or
services. Other service lines. Yeah, I mean, anything industrial work or...
Yeah, so it's all there to be had.
Yeah.
And so it's taken the time to establish the champion to focus on it and put forth the effort to get us there. But whether it's industrial, whether it's sports entertainment, which we have a great portfolio, every new high school football stadium in Texas is like enormous.
It used to be like a pro stadium.
Exactly. So with our sports, portfolio, I mean, that's wide open as well.
Yeah.
So there's just plenty of other markets that we can move into. It's just getting that champion and focusing on it.
Yeah. I'm just thinking down the road. There's always opportunities. I think people with wide eyes, which we have. I mean, we're trying to look broad and see what else might be out there.
Diversification is a great thing.
No doubt.
Data center design and construction is big in Texas, and it's another area to think about focusing on.
Yeah. I like it. So anything else? Let's think for a second. Is there anything else about Texas? Anything else about what you're working on that you'd want to share?
The thing for me is I'm seeing all the opportunities it's providing for our people.
Yeah.
The growth is just it's amazing, the amount of growth, and with that it gives opportunities for our people to grow. And we've got some young people stepping up that it's just exciting to see. So for me, that's the key. I'm out there trying to bring in the work to provide it for everybody there, but you need somebody to manage it and run it and do it, and you're seeing people step up right and left. So that to me is the big plus for the growth.
And I think you said this at the beginning. I think there's not really any limits on the opportunity that you have there. You just have to kind of grab it and be willing to do what it takes to get it done
and provide a quality service. Right. I mean, if we're not providing the quality service, we're a consulting firm for a reason. That they value that consultation, and we need to bring value to the table, and we need to provide a quality product. So
sounds like you've been doing it for a long time down there.
We're doing our best, and like I say, when we make a hiccup along the way, we make sure we take care of it. So absolutely.
Sounds good. So tell us what Kevin likes to do other than work. What do you do outside of work to relax?
I've got a place west of town and west of Houston, and it's about 4.5 acres, and I really spend a lot of time out there, and it's more busy time. It just gets the stress relief out. My wife and I, we have our only son. He's 26. He's doing very well, and he loves to go out there, and we kind of do things together out there. So I mean, all in all, it's life's good right now. Yeah. Knock on wood, and I love anything outdoors, and the heat's getting a little more stressful as I get older.
I hear you there.
But it's all good. So
So Kevin, I want to thank you for coming in and sharing your story and what's going on in Texas. Exciting stuff down there. Exciting stuff.
We're excited. It's exciting times for SSR as a whole. So glad to be here.
Sounds great. Appreciate it.
Good deal.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of SSR On Air. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. You can also connect with us on social media. Links to everything can be found in the show's notes. Take care, everyone. See you next time.